So being a young man in my late 20s, I found myself fighting certain battles really mentally over the past couple of years. And even then, I can go all the way back to when I graduated high school back in 2015 and I went through a little depression state. And so I feel like one of the important things to always keep in mind, and that I really wanted to discuss today, that I kind of harped back on in one of my other videos, was changing your mindset, bro. Because if I'm being honest with you, I feel like it's very important to keep a grounded mindset throughout life, especially in today's day and age, because in today's day and age, I feel like the world is so fucked up, and it feels like life nowadays is so much different than life used to be back in the day. Like even the early 2000s, and I know like the 90s, the 80s, everything. When I talk to multiple people, people always say, life just felt different. It does not feel the same anymore. And you know, that could be contributed to when you're young, especially when you're a kid, you see the world in a different light, right? So it can be, I guess, depending on the person, you know, they can give different answers. But for an example, I wanted to give this example for you guys, right? A while ago, I ended up breaking off with somebody who I loved dearly. Now, keep in mind, I briefly touched upon this on one of my previous videos as well, but I feel like it's very important to the topic and conversation. And after that happened, I ended up hitting a depression state. I was getting sad. I was thinking about her all day. I was fucking crying. I was just in a terrible state. I remember one night I woke up specifically at like 2 a.m. in November of 2024, right? Because this happened in August 2024. And I just started crying out of nowhere, out of my sleep. And I want you guys to keep this in mind. When I had met with her down the line a little bit after that, because I was giving her something, she was shocked when I told her. Now, I don't really recommend talking about stuff like that, like instances like that, because normally that's nothing I would say, but I don't know why I felt compelled to tell her. And she just seemed so surprised, as if she could kind of understand of why it happened on that specific day of that specific time. But that could be me just overthinking. It was so strange because I'm somebody who grew up being very private about myself. I don't really let my emotions out. I don't always speak my feelings. I'm not very affectionate. That's just the way that I grew up. And so like sometimes when I get certain affection, people trying to hug all on me, people trying to kiss me in my face, like on my cheek, it feels weird because I'm not used to this type of thing, you know what I mean? And so I was terrible and my mind was just negative, right? Misery loves company. It's not always easy just to let things go, right? It takes time because sometimes your mind just thinks about certain things and it's kind of hard to not think about it when it just pops into your head and you can't control it. And so after being down for a while and I was just sad, you know, I ended up becoming spiritual. Shout out to the YouTube channel, The Power of I Am. That was somebody who my sister, who was also spiritual, introduced me to. He speaks facts. He helped me a lot. If you're trying to get some assistance, you know, with your mindset change, if you need that, I suggest going to go watch him. And so one of the things that I decided to do was change my mindset in how I look at things, right? Because like I said in my older YouTube video, and you guys are gonna hear me say time and time again, you could do two things to change the situation. You could change your mindset, or you can change the actual situation by doing something different. And I feel like it's important to try to have a positive mindset. So me personally, I started looking at, well, it is what it is, because at the end of the day, you can't control how other people feel. You can't control what people are going to do. Same thing with like jobs, right? You can sit here and you can be depressed about a job, but you know, you can't control if you get a job. Like, yes, you can work and you can show up and you can do your best, whether that's the job interview or whatever, but you cannot force somebody to choose you, right? So the best way to look at it is just being positive and say, you know, if I get it, I get it. If not, it wasn't meant, right? Because the universe works in mysterious ways. It really does. And so that's one of the things that I always look at. Like if I don't get something, if something doesn't work out, if something happens, I guess it was meant to happen, right? And then even kind of harping back to like the whole relationship thing and how it was depressed and everything, one of the things I looked at it is, well, it is what it is, you know? You never know what can happen. You never know the roads that you can go down when it comes to life. You and this person who just broke up, you guys can end up getting back together. It happens all the time. People split, they get back together, they end up getting married, they have kids, you get married, you get divorced. Like, you never know what happens in life. And so I often try to appreciate what I was able to experience, you know, all the good times, all the happy times, all the intimate times, right? Because if you sit there and you harp on the negative, that shit can't destroy you. And then me being a Gemini, me being an introvert, I am a very heavy thinker. I sit and I think and I think and I think. And if I don't get that under control, it will destroy me from the inside, and that would be my downfall and my destruction for real. And so that's why I try to be so positive, right? Even with people in my life. Because you never know what somebody's going through. You know, it's very important for you to be positive. It's very important for you to be nice. You just don't know what people are dealing with. This world is a cold world. It is no joke. And, you know, you have to push through things that are extremely tough at times. But know that you're not alone, right? With changing your mindset, you just got to wake up every day and believe. You know, believe you're going to get that new job. You know, believe something can come about between you and another person. Believe you're going to make more money. Believe you're going to get out of these certain situations. Because the way that I look at it is, when you put positivity out into the world, the universe is going to bless you back with that positivity. If you're negative all the time and you're always sad, the universe is going to bless that. Well, it's not going to be blessed unless you want to have that feeling, but they're going to give it right back to you. So it's very important for you to act and treat yourself outwards as for what you want to receive back. If that makes sense, right? You can't expect to be negative all the time and receive positivity or get your way when that's not what you're giving out. You got to give what you want to receive. You know, it was nothing too crazy, but I feel like the mindset can be overlooked sometimes, because mental health is a serious fucking thing nowadays. And you know, a lot of people who were born around my time, which was the late 90s, you've probably had a parent who didn't really care or believe in the whole mental health thing, and they would just, oh man, be quiet, go ahead and, you know, get yourself together and do what you gotta do. That shit ain't serious. That shit is serious, but that's the way that some people thought back in the day. I can't say everybody, because you know, you have your outliers, but I do feel like it's very important to tell yourself you're gonna get what you want. So again, if you want that person, you can have them, him or her. You have to really believe in yourself. And you just gotta wake up and be like, you know, life is gonna bless me. You know, I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna do my part, you know, with staying positive and, you know, providing my best actions, you know, just being sweet and treating others with kindness and just doing me, you know? And another thing is when you're organic and you're yourself, if people don't accept you for that, then those aren't your people. Again, they aren't meant for you. You know, because when you're yourself, when you're organic, when you're just being you, the ones who are meant to be in your life are going to naturally gravitate towards you. You shouldn't have to change and be nobody else just to keep somebody near you, for somebody to support you, or for somebody to stay in your life. That is not how it works. If you have to pretend to be somebody else, they are not meant for you. But again, it's not an easy road. Practice it. You know, wake up in the morning, tell yourself you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, think positive, and it takes time to build up to it. You're not just going to wake up the next day. And some people can wake up the next day and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and things work out. But you got to give yourself time. You have to pace yourself, and you will get there. So, you know, if you're going through it, don't feel bad. Be easy on yourself. You're going to be able to get there eventually. Your mindset is very important. Always try to envision what you want to do, how you want everything to play out, and what you want in life. And as you continue to believe and strive towards that and be hopeful and be positive, energetic, being yourself, you will be blessed with your desired outcome. Vestige, my regime's above all when compared to me. I don't like to do no talking if it ain't a beat. I'm all about my elevation, so I stay on feet.